All right, back to the full 9 games this week. There's no end of action to choose from in our best and worst of, so let's take a look at the pick of it in hot or not. Rightio, I'm kicking us off, and it's the good news story of the week almost. Kieran Jack, after that storm which erupted on social media, problems with his family and squabbling with his parents, a heap of pressure on him. He went down to Geelong, always a difficult task, kicked the first goal of the game, which we just see there, and he ended up having one of the best games he's played in the last few years. Ended up with, I think, 24 disposals, 10 tackles and 3 goals. Talk about leading from the front. With that pressure on him, I was in the rooms afterwards, Finey, and the joy of the Sydney players on his behalf was something to behold. It was just a great performance, and that's why he's one of the better captains going around.
Should never have really got to where it got to, though. I mean, that's a really personal matter, girlfriend issues, the family, and yeah, it's just a real pity that it got to where it was. But that being said, he's always been a little beauty, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, look, I think
those little arms and legs of his, little pistons pumping up and down. I like him.
I know you've avoided Twitter. I think it might be a good idea for his mum to avoid it too from now on. Okay, you're up.
Okay, this is an amazing story. Ruben William made his debut for Brisbane on the weekend.
Yep.
He's got a bit of ability too, Ruben. He's a lively type. His story is just unbelievable. This young fellow is from South Sudan. His father was killed in South Sudan, the world's youngest country, South Sudan's fight for independence. He himself, with his family, came out here, so without a dad. And in some sort of tragic coincidence, he makes his AFL debut, of course on multicultural round, on the same weekend that South Sudan celebrate their anniversary or their Day of Independence, with over 150, at last count, 115 people dead in what would almost be a comedy if it wasn't so tragic, a fight between factions supporting the president and his vice president. It's just a country torn apart by misery, but he and his family have made it out to Australia, and he makes it onto a league football ground and makes his debut on multicultural round. What a story.
Yeah, no, very appropriate time for it, certainly. Okay, I've got a not to go next, and it's North Melbourne, unfortunately. Pretty obvious one, but lost to the Eagles in Perth on Sunday. That was their 5th defeat in the last 6 games. What a spectacular fall from grace. The end of round 9, they were 2 games clear on top of the ladder. It's now not beyond the realms of possibility, even given the gap between 8th and 9th, that they can miss the finals, because their last 4 games are against, in order, Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, Sydney, GWS. They're in all sorts of trouble, the Roos, and you can see their confidence evaporating. They actually tried pretty hard against the Eagles, but they never at any stage, I felt, looked like winning it. So I hope they come good. I do like the Roos, but geez, they've got an uphill battle. Next, bouncing of the ball by the umpire in the centre of the ground. Is this hot or not?
This is not hot.
Okay.
First of all, I absolutely am for the bouncing of the ball after a goal and to commence every quarter. It's part of our game. But if you see the action here, recall the bounce. Now, there are 4 umpires out there being trialled, or 3 umpires. Some of these umpires are no good at bouncing the ball. Why are the guys that can't bounce the ball properly being allowed to bounce the ball?
Good call. We should have played the audio on that one, because I had to listen to it. And Matthew Nichols was so angry at himself. Max Gawn, you saw, punch the ball away. Matty Nichols yells out, "What'd you do that for?" Because he had to go and get the ball again. So,
I mean,
man up, Matty.
Shane McInerney is one of our most experienced umpires. He bounced the ball twice. How tall would McInerney be?
Oh, about 5'8".
The ball did not clear him twice. They were mini bouncers. Don't let him. There are guys who are good at it. Let the guys who are good at it do it.
He's a good guy, Shane. Got on the Terps with him once up at Carrara many years ago, before he was an umpire.
Would have taken him about. He would have had a pony and been pissed.
I was in better condition than him in the cab ride on the way home. Okay, I'm sorry, Shane. I shouldn't have told that anecdote. Last one for me, and it's another hot, and it is one of the emerging young stars of the competition. I love watching this bloke play, Jaden Hunt of Melbourne. Now, it's a pretty ordinary game up in Darwin, Melbourne, Freo, but this isn't it. This is him kicking his first goal against Adelaide last week. But just have a look at this. Look at that dash. He's just a runner, and he runs in straight lines off half-back, always looking to attack. He's got talent. He's got a real sense of dare about the way he plays footy. And I know Melbourne's got a lot of young, talented players emerging, but I reckon he might end up being the pick of them. Just love watching him. Keep your eye on Jaden Hunt. He's going to be a star. Last one.
I've got to tell you a quick Jaden Hunt story. Sorry,
Quick.
It's better than my last hot.
Okay.
Robert Shaw, who I'm great friends with, coach of Brighton Grammar. 3 years ago, every year I go and watch them play. And they were playing Caulfield Grammar. All the talk was on Christian Salem and another top draft pick that was there. Which one do you think's better? And I actually stood next to him for the game and was his assistant coach. At the end of the game, I said, "Who's that kid off the half-back flank?" He said, "Jaden Hunt." I said, "Mate, that guy can play footy." He goes, he's only just started playing this year. He used to be 5'3" and played tennis. He was too small to play footy. He only started playing football in year 11 because he was too small. I said, "He can play." And he goes, "I don't know whether he'll get picked up." Melbourne picked him up with their last pick, the last pick in the draft of that year, and he's gone on to be a footballer.
Very prescient. Okay, your last.
The last one is goal kicking, and it was goal kicking at Metricon Stadium. What a difference a week makes. Gold Coast versus St Kilda would have been the worst display of goal kicking you've ever seen. A week later, up come the Gold Coast. They kicked 22 goals, 7. Could not miss from anywhere. Even Brisbane got in on the act. We ended up with 38 goals, 36 goals, 18, as compared to the week before, something like 15 goals, 39. Talk about a turnaround.
Well, I reckon they listened to you slagging him off.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Stepping out, I'm gonna turn you around once